Your dog has been trying to tell you something for years, every single day, and you have been accidentally ignoring it. Not because you are a bad owner, but because nobody ever showed you what it looks like. There are 5 things your dog has been waiting for you to understand. And number 4 is the one that makes people cry when they finally see it. Subscribe before we start. By the end, you'll see how these 5 changes will transform your relationship with your dog. Sign 1. Stop staring them down. When they do something wrong. You know this moment. Your dog has done something, chewed something, knocked something over. You catch them. You fix them with a long, firm stare. You say their name in that tone. You think you are communicating disappointment. Your dog is having a completely different experience. In canine social language, a sustained hard stare is not a correction. It is a threat. It is the same signal a dominant animal uses to start a confrontation. Your dog's nervous system does not think, "My owner is disappointed." It thinks something dangerous is about to happen. That freeze you sometimes see, your dog going completely still, head low, eyes looking up, Yidana, that is not guilt. Researchers have documented this clearly. That is appeasement behavior. Your dog's whole body is saying, "Please do not escalate this. I am not a threat. I am trying to make this stop." Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs in frequent confrontational interactions with their owners showed significantly higher anxiety levels over time. They were less likely to approach their owner, less likely to trust, not afraid of you exactly, just never fully sure what version of you they were getting. The fix is simple. Redirect instead of stare. Move calmly instead of looming. Use your voice to interrupt the behavior, not your eyes to challenge the animal. The dog you want, the one that chooses to be near you, that trusts you completely, cannot exist if part of them is always calculating whether your next eye contact is safe. Sign 2. When they come to check on you, let them finish. Your dog walks over to you when you are sitting quietly. They push their nose against your hand. They sniff your arm for a few seconds. You immediately start petting them, because that feels like connection, like affection. From your dog's perspective, you just interrupted a sentence they were in the middle of saying. That check-in is deliberate. Your dog is reading your body chemistry. Things your face never shows. Whether you are stressed, whether you are unwell, whether something is off. They are learning things about you that you do not even know about yourself yet. When you turn that moment into petting, the focus shifts from their need to yours. Try this instead. Next time your dog initiates a quiet check-in, keep your hands still. Let them finish. Let them take all the time they need. Only after they are done. If they settle against you or simply stand there satisfied, then respond. Making this small change opens the door to a new level of dialogue. A dog who is allowed to finish their sentences eventually starts saying more of them. Sign 3. Let them know something difficult is coming. Here is something we do to dogs every single day that we would never do to another person we cared about. We change their world without warning. A new baby. A house move. Someone leaving. A schedule change. Surgery. You have time to prepare for these events, but to your dog, they simply happen. Suddenly, the world changes with no explanation or warning. A study from Stockholm University found that dogs had significantly higher stress hormones during household disruptions, and that the stress was notably worse when the disruption was sudden rather than gradual. You cannot explain a house move in words, but you can take your dog to the new home before you move. You can keep the most important parts of their routine steady while everything else shifts. You can let them explore the change at their own pace instead of throwing it at them all at once. Most owners do nothing because they assume their dog will just adjust. Sometimes they do. But the anxiety, the disrupted sleep, the elevated stress hormones, that cost is real, and it is invisible to the people who caused it. Sign 4. Let them say no. This is the one. Your dog has a real vocabulary. Not words, but body language, posture, microsignals. The head is turning away. The lip lick. The slight lean back. The yawn at an unexpected moment. The body that goes still instead of soft. These are not random. These are complete sentences. These are your dog clearly saying, "Not right now. I do not want this. Please stop. And most owners do not just miss them. They actively override them. The child who wants to hug the dog, and the dog whose whole body is saying no. And the owner who says, go ahead, he loves it. The grooming session where the dog is showing every sign of discomfort, and the owner keeps going because it needs to be done. The stranger reaches for the dog's head, and the owner says sorry, but he is shy and does not step in. Every time this happens, your dog learns something. Their communication does not work. And over time, a dog who has learned their signals do not work stops sending them clearly. Research from the University of Bristol found that dogs with more control over physical interactions showed fewer anxiety behaviors. They formed stronger voluntary bonds with their owners than dogs in interactions entirely controlled by humans. Less control from you, more trust from them. A dog who knows they're not will be respected and does not need to escalate, does not need to growl, snap, or shut down completely. They can send the softest signal and know it will land. That is not a dog being managed. That is a dog who feels safe enough to tell you the truth, and that changes everything about who they become around you. Sign 5, be the same person. Every day, not perfect, the same. Your dog does not need you to be endlessly patient or always available. What they need is to be able to predict you. Research into canine stress has consistently found that unpredictability in the primary owner, not harshness, not neglect, but simple inconsistency, is one of the strongest predictors of chronic anxiety in dogs. An owner who is warm one day and distracted the next. Who plays enthusiastically on weekends and ignores them during the week? Who sets rules that change depending on their mood? To a dog, that is exhausting. Because if they cannot predict you, they cannot relax around you. Not fully. That version of your dog you most want to see. Loose, calm, open, trusting, can only exist when their nervous system has decided it is safe to stop monitoring. And they only stop monitoring when you have become predictable enough to trust. You do not need to be a perfect owner. You need to be consistent. Feed them around the same time. Walk them with the same patience. Respond to their signals with the same attention, regardless of how your day went. Your dog has waited their whole life for you to be steady. Not a perfect self, just reliable, someone they can count on. The one they can trust completely because you have shown them over and over that you are steady. These 5 changes have a single outcome: a less anxious, more trusting, and happier dog. The anxiety goes down, the trust goes up. Your dog becomes softer, calmer, more themselves. Not because you bought them something or trained them harder, but because you finally started listening. Drop a comment with which of these 5 you are going to change first, because your dog is waiting, and now you know what for. And subscribe, because the more you understand your dog, the better life gets for both of you.